Hello everyone, I'm Ron Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. You're watching 284 Media. Thank you so much for your time. The recently formed alliance within the opposition are joining me to discuss a number of events that have taken place. Of course, these gentlemen have just returned from Jersey within the opposition, dialoguing and training on a number of aspects. Of course, a lot has been taking place on the political landscape and they're here to weigh in on these matters. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
BVI, the biggest sailing event of the year, is back. Get ready for 7 days of non-stop action at the 52nd BVI Spring Regatta and Sailing Festival, happening March 31st to April 6th at Nanny Key. Come for the races, stay for the vibes. At the Regatta Village, it's all about fun, flavor, and fantastic entertainment. Enjoy local food, ice-cold drinks, and high-energy performances by DJ Wiz, the 3Gs, and Final Phase. Catch the Makajumbis, explore local art, and dance the night away under the stars. Whether you sail or you just love a good old party, this is where you need to be. So mark your calendars, March 31st to April 2nd at Nanny Key. BVI Spring Regatta, baby, 2025.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. As promised, we are joined by members of the recently formed alliance within His Majesty's Loyal Opposition. Gentlemen, thank you for your time and thank you for accepting my invitation. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Absolutely. I want to highlight, of course, that I did invite you guys, but you were all away in Jersey, traveling. Just on the heels of that trip, I want to start there. Honorable Turnbull, what was that experience like and what were some of your takeaways?
Well, Ron, I was the only one not in Jersey.
Okay.
I was in London for a Westminster's training seminar, which dealt with helping to strengthen parliamentary operations and procedures. I was there with Honorable Luz Hodge-Smith and the Deputy Clerk, Myrna Penn Leonard. And we spent some time networking with the people. There were about 14 different territories from the CPA branch that were there. We dealt with artificial intelligence. We dealt with the Prime Minister's questions in the House of Commons. And we will also be able to get some resources from the Speaker of the House, Speaker Lindsay, who was there in one of the sessions with us in terms of support for the overseas territories to strengthen our democracy. And one of the things that we're doing in our House of Assembly is moving toward the independence of the House of Assembly. So it was a trip that was already planned from last year that I was in London while the other four members of the Loyal Opposition were in the public accounts training seminar in Jersey.
Okay, and Honorable Walwyn and Matha, tell me about your experiences.
It was quite good, and I'd like to thank everyone who made this possible. It was sponsored in money and kind by the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. So I'm glad that happened. The Public Accounts Committee sessions were very important, very informative, because we need to get our Public Accounts Committee up and running in a similar manner, where it can function as a check and balance, a proper check and balance on government's fiscal spending. We were able to see in action how that works, how intrusive it gets. It's far more intrusive than how we do it. And at the end of the day, you see it augmenting for better for the people of the territory of the Virgin Islands. And of course, we have seen the effects of it in Jersey. We took the time as well to ask questions in other areas.
Okay.
For instance, our standing orders, to see how we can better strengthen the standing orders. We were able to get copies of those so that when we have our standing order committee meetings and so on, we can look to see how we can better serve and better utilize some of the policies and principles that we saw in Jersey. So it was a very good seminar. And we're going to take some of those best practices and make them work for us here in our local parliament.
Understood. Honorable Matha?
Thank you, Ron. The journey to Jersey was a very interesting one. It was solely the members of the opposition from the Virgin Islands who attended this conference. It was a long request upon us to actually get there and do it. As Honorable Walwyn said, it was very, very interesting to see a functioning PAC committee that had public hearings. Their procedures was laid out. And what I found very fascinating was the use of laymen, which was experts within the community to strengthen the committee itself in terms of the hearings and the expertise. So you literally had volunteers from within the community being involved. And that's something I would love to see in the Virgin Islands. Furthermore, Jersey is a crown dependency, unlike the Virgin Islands where we're overseas territory. And the relationship that they have with the United Kingdom fascinated me because, like for example here, when laws are passed, they have to be assented to by the governor. While in Jersey, they're sent on to the Privy Council through the Governor General, but the Governor General is more of a figurehead. And I found it fascinating because I see a road towards maybe perhaps where the BVI should be looking to redefine our relationship with the UK as we presently stand. So it was definitely very informative.
Wonderful. I want to clarify, just put into perspective for me, gentlemen, what exactly do you as members of this alliance want to achieve overarching for the people of the Virgin Islands?
The alliance, as I've said before, was formed out of our love for our country and the fact that we believe that we were not, at least as an opposition, being as effective as we could be. Of course, we have concerns with the government, and we continue to raise those concerns. But we have to also do some introspection and look at ourselves to see if we are being as effective as we can be in terms of representing the interests of the people. And when we did that introspection, the answer was no. When we looked a little further, it was because of the divisions that existed. You had several different parties operating within the opposition. Persons working in silos, not working together, not discussing questions, not discussing how we're going to tackle certain bills and our contribution to make sure that all members understand the bills fully. And we said to ourselves, this doesn't work. The synergies, the energy, the togetherness that is needed to be able to help people to understand what is being done on their behalf more. We were losing some of that. And so we decided, look, let us come together and try to move beyond party boundaries to see how we can better serve the country. And we also invited the other members of the opposition as well to join us in a similar manner. Of course, this would have been seen as a precursor to us merging our organizations together to be one formidable force in 2027. I think it has been going well. I think that people who are paying attention to the House of Assembly would see that we are in fact working together, particularly on the devices that we have been using, where one person can ask a question, a substantive question, and other persons can ask a follow-up. It helps in the overall effort to hold the government to account, and it shows that when we work together, we can achieve a lot more. And that's what the alliance is really about.
Understood. Now, you mentioned about within the opposition having a number of parties. Of course, we saw yesterday a number of happenings. The leader of NDP and PVIM stated that they have now come together. I want to take it from there. Were you, either of you, aware of the dissolution of the PVIM? Honorable Metha and yourself, Honorable Mitch, you both members of the PVIM. Were you aware of the dissolution and the joining with the NDP prior to the announcement?
No, I wasn't aware, Ron, and I think we have to be a little bit more careful with what and how we say things. I too am a founding member of the Progressive Virgin Islands movement, along with, I think it's 14 other members. I am also a member of the executive, so is Honorable Metha and any candidate that would have ran with that team. I remember having meetings with the Progressive Virgin Islands movement, and we had very clearly set out guidelines, which seems to have shifted based on what I'm hearing. The last meeting that we had a timeline that would have ended on February 17th with a plan to have a final meeting on the 24th of February. This is February that I'm talking about. I'm here in March and April. The first meeting that was supposed to happen would have been to have a meeting with Honorable Penn, because both Honorable Metha and myself were not getting through to him. He was not responding to our communications. Even with Honorable Walwyn, as a member of the NDP, there was no communication there. The second meeting that was supposed to happen with the 5 members of the opposition, and that wasn't called. what happened, Ron, for a month and a week actually, the meeting wasn't called. Honorable Walwyn then decided that he is going to call the first meeting of the 5 members of the opposition to try to see how we could get things together. And then the third meeting would have been, which should have happened by the 17th of February, is that we would come back, give a report to the general public on what we want to do in the PVIM, get together with Honorable Penn and the people from the NDP and decide how we're going to move this thing forward. It didn't happen in that way. And one of the key things that came out of that meeting that we were given instructions, Honorable Skelton as the leader and all of us were given instructions to do, is that all message to the NDP and our message and decision collectively around the room from the PVIM was that we had agreed if we're going to come together, we are going to dissolve the PVIM and have NDP dissolve the NDP, and we're going to come together under a new branch.
Understood.
That was clear in 2 meetings that I shared it. Hence, the alliance came together and did what we started a while since nothing was moving. So to see where we are, I don't know if one person as the chairman can dissolve the PVIM according to the constitution that I signed my name to. I know that's not the case, but I understand that we're putting the cart behind the horse and we have to be careful. We have to be a little bit more honest and forthcoming with the actual facts of what was instructed and what is being decided single-handedly to do something that you feel or they feel is in their best interest.
Understood. Now, with that in mind, Honorable Mather and yourself, did any of you resign from the Progressive Virgin Islands movement?
No, I have not resigned, nor has Honorable Turnbull. I'm speaking for him. And I just want to say that all the timeline that he has given is accurate. What happened is PVIM's executive, the members that were there, decided there would be a merger. One would fall, the other would fall. But as a subsequent meeting came, Honorable Skelton's interpretation of that shifted more towards a singular voice that we would then merge with NDP. So that was not something that was decided by the members of PVIM. It was a directive and a decision made by the chairman.
And Honorable Walwyn, have you resigned from the National Democratic Party?
No, I have not. But I want to weigh in too on the conversation that my 2 colleagues give an explanation on. We were having individual discussions, and we were waiting or hoping that the 2 leaders would have taken the initiative to get the 5 of us together, because that is what leaders do. It didn't happen. I called the first meeting of the 5 of us together. This is outside of the individual discussions. I chaired the meeting and raised some issues for discussion. There were 2 issues that came up, and it boiled down to 2 issues. One, the fact that we need to merge, right? And the other issue would have been, how would that be done? We understand that the first issue was easy to get over because we understand the issue of the numbers in terms of general election. The second issue is where we had a bit of a challenge. And our proposal has been all along that you need to have a merger and not a subsuming. And they're 2 different things.
Understood.
To subsume NDP into PVIM and PVIM into NDP, we did not believe was the best thing. Because you will have bad blood, you'll have issues of trust still. Some persons would feel as if, look, you have to come back to us after you separated. You just would not have had a platform that is the best one for growth and camaraderie. And so we borrowed the same thinking that you have in company law, for instance. You have 2 entities coming together, they fall apart, and a new entity comes. And we were saying, let us do that, because that way it creates a level playing field, a level platform for everyone to walk across with their dignity intact. And we work together, look at the 2 constitutions, build something that works, and then we have an internal election, and whoever wins. Whoever wants to put in their name, whether they are an elected official or not an elected official, would win. If they put in their names and they win, whoever wins. And we all would respect the outcome of that decision and move forward. To me, I find that to be very plausible. That was not accepted at that meeting. We decided then we'll have further talks. Nothing happened in that period. It was Honorable Mehta who took the initiative to hold a meeting last week after no meeting was being called by anyone. And in that meeting, it was a very interesting meeting because the meeting lasted 20-something minutes. A heavy topic that just lasted 20-something minutes. And I want to congratulate you for the manner in which you handled that meeting. I was quite impressed with his leadership skills in that meeting, I must tell you. And he asked some very pointed questions. We asked Honorable Penn, for instance, where are we in terms of moving forward? Honorable Penn had no further, he said he had nothing further to say based on what he said the last time. Questions were asked of Honorable Skelton. Where are we in the merger? He couldn't say. We asked a question, well, who is involved in the discussions with both parties? We can't tell you who they are. Okay, you can't tell us. When will we be invited to the discussions? Well, you'll be invited at a later time. Then we said, okay, when will it occur? When will all of this occur? Give us until the end of April. This was last week, Thursday. A week ago. We made a decision, my two colleagues reposed their confidence in me as leader of the opposition. I want to thank them so very much for that. But we see the leader of the opposition issue and the merger as two separate and distinct issues. Because we had some concerns with the leadership of the opposition. We believe, for instance, that we were not being as effective as we needed to be. We believe that there was a major fumble with the vote of no confidence. Our voices have not, there's so much going on in the political space, and we're not giving hope, we're not lending our voices on the issues that we need to, the public needs to hear our positions on. And so we decided, let us make a shift. But that has nothing to do with our intentions for a merger. And so we left thinking, okay, we'll hear something in April. But lo and behold, I got sworn in on Monday. And then on Wednesday, you could hear that there's a subsuming of PVIM into NDP. And I must tell you, I was troubled by it. I was extremely troubled by it. I felt betrayed. I felt actions of 2018 repeating themselves again. Because your word must be your word. If we left that meeting, yes, give us until April, then what happened between that time to make you do something that you didn't do in years, in almost 24 hours, and that baffles me. And then it was done to the exclusion of us. We have always been the ones trying to initiate conversations, all the conversations and all the discussions to try to bring these two entities together. We have been the ones that have been showing the initiative. We've always included everyone in the discussions. We called the two meetings of the five of us together. And here it is, we are learning via JTV that in 24 hours a merger was done when we were told to hold on until after April. And then I'm a little troubled by it. I must tell you that I am.
Understood. Honorable Baldwin, you used a word in your statement just now about betrayal, and I want to call it for what it is, because there have been some narratives within the general public about Honorable Mehta and Honorable Mitch seemingly to insinuate that you both would have betrayed the leader of the Progressive Virgin Islands movement. What are your thoughts on statements of such?
Honorable Mehta.
So, Ron, I can tell you that prior to the meeting on Thursday last week, I sat in Honorable Skelton's office for quite a long time. And I expressed to him there that I was not satisfied with his performance as the leader of the opposition, and also coming out of Jersey last, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, that I felt that we could do more with PAC. I know Honorable Penn has said publicly that we had a meeting before the Alliance had their press conference. And I have spoken to Honorable Penn about this, where we have made decisions as an opposition that we're going to do public meetings, we're going to do this, we're going to outreach, we're going to be more effective. And after that meeting, nothing happens. So I expressed to Honorable Skelton that I wasn't happy. I have expressed to him in PVIM meetings that I think that we need to do more as a political unit. The betrayal of a political party or political leader, I can understand where some may think that. But my personal and professional responsibility as a leader right now is to the House of Assembly and the general population, those who voted for me and those who didn't vote for me. That is my first and foremost responsibility. I do not walk into the House of Assembly thinking about party politics. I think about the people and I think about the country. And I think that as a populace and also as representatives of the people, we need to start thinking not about the next election, not about whether or not Mather has betrayed or Mather has committed political suicide, but rather that Mather is intending, and my intention is to do my job. I'm being paid to do a job. We're all being paid to do a job. Wake in the morning, put your best effort towards your job, work and let the people make a decision. But to say that I have betrayed someone, no, I haven't. I am comfortable seeing Honorable Skelton, greeting him. I respect him as a person. As far as I know, he's the leader of PVIM. I was, up until yesterday, a member of PVIM, and I would intend to go and be part of PVIM once I am welcomed. But again, I support what Honorable Walwyn said. The leader of the opposition role is separate to the leader of a political party. And I think that we need to separate those things in the House of Assembly because constitutionally, people can be removed. It's forecasted that I will be removed as a deputy speaker. That's the first time in BVI history. I am not offended because it is part of the constitutional process. It is allowed by law. And I think that we need to step back and look at those things and remove party politics from everything that we talk about when it comes to the House of Assembly.
Ron, real quickly, if I may, Honorable Walwyn, just respond to it.
Yes.
For me, Ron, betrayal, that's not who I am. If anybody will track the history, I have been by Honorable Skelton's side for 10 years of my political career. I have stood with him and even stood by myself as a solely elected member of PVIM, carrying a brand from 2019 to 2023. It can't be betrayal when, as your mentor, you are expected to learn, you're expected to listen, you're expected to understand, you're expected to develop as an elected leader of the people. It can't be betrayal when I would have expressed in the presence of Honorable Mather and privately to Honorable Skelton that I am preparing myself, now elected in my third term, for leadership because there was the insinuation given on more than one occasion by Honorable Skelton that he was getting ready to walk off the scene. So we should prepare ourselves. So this merger that happened with the alliance came from go and do the things that you need to do because he may be walking off the scene. So now it seems to be, Ron, that there's this, I want to say this victim card where we are given just enough information for people to fashion their minds to give sympathy this way versus that way. But if you know me, I go through all the steps necessary. Honorable Walwyn has gone through the steps with Honorable Penn. Honorable Mather has gone through the steps with Honorable Walwyn and Honorable Skelton and Honorable Penn. I have done the same thing with Honorable Skelton in the PVIM. We have sat as a body and tried to work things out. So where we are now, it cannot be betrayal. We are making decisions as leaders. After staying stagnant for 2 years in the opposition, having fumbled, we saw the urgency to get something moving because we can't go down to 2027, 6 months down, and we're not making any move to get things together. We have asked, the people have asked, the people of the Virgin Islands have said, this is what you need to do. And we made a decision to do what we need to do. So it can't be betrayal. We as leaders have a responsibility to our people. We have a responsibility to the needs of the people of this country, and we are making the necessary steps to represent their needs and go forward. My relationship with Honorable Skelton, though it may be fragmented based on who's talking, my relationship with Honorable Penn is one of respect, of one that I would respect the both of them in their professional careers. But here we are. I can't respect you and continue to respect you to the detriment of the progress of this country and the progress of what the people are calling for, which is a unifying of the parties, a unifying of the bodies to face the next election. And that's what we have been able to demonstrate here in the Alliance.
All right. You had a statement, Honorable Walwyn?
Well, just to basically add to the fact again that it's a new opportunity for the opposition, a new opportunity for the country. And we've already started to have discussions. For instance, some of the major things that we're going to be looking at, as I said to you, the Public Accounts Committee. You're going to see a far more active Public Accounts Committee going forward. We have looked at the standing orders. There's something called Special Select Committees that have never functioned in the history of the House of Assembly. Special Select Committees are committees that you form to look into urgent and difficult matters. There are so many matters that the public speak about daily. The NHI, we speak about the issues with water, we speak about issues with healthcare, the assistance grants, for instance, coming from social development. And we are going to work with everyone in the House of Assembly to try to get special select committees to look into those difficult areas that we're having within governance, call witnesses, make recommendations, and then look for implementation of the recommendations. So there's a lot that we can do from the opposition perspective. And the stronger the opposition is, the better the government should become. Because our job is to hold them to account. And if you have somebody holding you to account, then the end result should be better performance on that end. And that is what we are really, really trying our best to do.
Okay. And with that in mind, you are now the leader of the opposition. I want to take note, what exactly can the people expect as it pertains to this newfound leadership in that capacity?
Well, I've just mentioned some of what we will do. Certainly, you're going to hear my voice representing the opposition on many issues around the territory, because we can't just wait until we get into the House of Assembly to speak. There are a lot of other issues within the territory that we have to lend our voices to, so that people can be educated as to what is happening, and also let the government know that there are other alternatives and we can work together where we can to make things better. So you're going to see a far more active opposition, and you will certainly hear my voice quite a bit representing the opposition on issues that are important to the country.
Wonderful. Gentlemen, I have to ask you, as it pertains to, just for clarification, you mentioned earlier why the alliance was formed. For persons who are wondering, are you at the point of a political party? Will you become a political party?
We don't know.
Okay.
That is a truthful answer. Our objective is still the same objective, to try to make the opposition as strong a unit as it possibly can. We remain open still to discussions with our colleagues to see how we can form together on the right platform, one that is inclusive, because clearly what happened yesterday has not worked, because you've had a leader who has walked off the field and left his soldiers on the battlefield. And that is why we were saying what we were saying, that the best thing to do would have been to create an even platform where nobody is left behind, where everyone from both entities can walk across and we can work together. The NDP was formed with PVIM, and I don't know, I'm a member of the NDP, I'm left on the battlefield as well. And I don't think that is the right way to do things. So we're going to still continue to try to convince our colleagues that we should look at this approach, because I think in the end it'll be better for everyone. But our key focus right now is to, from where we are, be as good a representatives as we can for the people. Try to make each other stronger. Better representatives work together in our various districts and so on. And we invite persons to be a part of what we're doing. We want to hear young people's voices. We want to hear the older folks' voices. We want to hear the voices of women and so on, to be a part of what we are doing.
All right. What do you say, Honorable Metha, to the members of the electorate, of course, who are paying keen attention to the developments and the happenings? What do you want your members, your constituencies, to understand about what's taking place?
So, Rod, when I ran for election in 2023, I am still humbled by the enormous support that the people of the territory gave to me. And for those who continue to support me, as I said before, I'm going to continue to do my best. I have listened to persons' criticisms, their praises. I am hoping that with this move, that there is a resurgence, there is more trust, there is more confidence in the opposition, also more scrutiny, because hopefully there's more for the public to look at and say, this is what needs to be done. I am excited because one of the things that have been said to me repeatedly is the opposition needs to bring bills. And this is something that I've asked my colleagues that we need to look into so that we're not just sitting there asking questions. When we were in Jersey, I was keen because I've been championing the House of Assembly having a schedule. Jersey has a schedule. For the House of Assembly, they know they're meeting every third Thursday. What you've seen now recently is we had House of Assembly last Monday. We have it this Monday again. It's very sporadic. It's difficult to plan to meet your constituents. It's difficult to plan anything when it's all over the place. So to those who have put their trust in me, I ask of them to continue to trust that I will always speak truth, even if the truth means that I have made a mistake, but I will speak truth. In the months coming, once there isn't a snap election, because I've heard the rumors of that as well, give the members of the opposition, and I'm hoping that Honorable Walwyn and Honorable Skelton can see that compromise is necessary for our people. Come together. I'm hoping that they can see us coming together, leadership evolving, and the Virgin Islands getting the better end of the stick. For those businesses that have been receiving messages, it's hard to stay afloat from people who are barely surviving. I met a young man yesterday who's making $900 every 2 weeks before tax. How can he survive? And if businesses are struggling, that employees are struggling, where are we going? I want the Virgin Islands to look and say, you know what? We are not losing hope. But I'm hoping that the opposition, the members of the opposition, I'm the most junior one, can compromise and think of the country and move forward to actually give the country a choice. And the choice may not be in 2027. It may be the one after that. And stop focusing on the next election and focus on doing our jobs now. Represent our people and let our people be happy with the representation for the most part that they're receiving, because I know right now they're not.
Thank you for your sentiments. And Honorable Turnbull, before we leave, any last words from you?
Well, Ron, I want to say as well to the people of the 2nd Electoral District that I am grateful to them. I am grateful to them for their confidence, for their trust in me over the last 10 years or 3 terms so far. And starting tomorrow, I'll be having district community meetings in Bruce Bay. Well, Saturday tonight actually at 6:30, and then next week we'll have meetings in King Garden, in Just Van Dyke, as well as Merzen State. But I want the people of my community and people of the 2nd District and the people of this territory to understand, just as they have said to me after we came together as an alliance, Mitch, we put you there to lead. We trust you to make the decisions that's in the best interest, because you can't keep hearing from your constituents meeting after meeting, you guys are not doing enough, you're not representing our concerns. Since we have formed the alliance, we are waiting now. This is the shift in the conversation. We are waiting to see what else the alliance is doing. You said you were going to ask questions and come together. You said you were going to be more formidable in your presence to the public. We have seen it. What else are you going to do? And the door still remains open for communication between Honorable Skelton and Honorable Penn, as my 2 colleagues have said, for us to make this make sense. But it can't be done in isolation of you saying one thing and your actions actually doing something else. It can't be that you are about integrity and honesty and transparency when you are going against the majority of the people that you are held to responsible from the executive. There's executive in Progressive Virgin Islands movement, which Honorable Mate and I formed. The executive of NDP, which Honorable Walwyn is a part of because he's an elected representative. So don't say that you are making this decision and then you're going to meet with the executive. It doesn't work that way, Ron. But going forward, as the members of the Alliance for the people of the Virgin Islands, I believe what we have signed on to, through the PAC, through the seminars, through the continued, and one of the things that I am most impressed about in the 3 of us coming together is the challenging of minds and thoughts. When we have debates on bills, it is not just Honorable Walwyn standing up and saying something. We question each other in terms of okay, how do you think this is going to go? What do you think about this? And even if Honorable Walwyn may have missed something or Honorable Mather said something, that we are piggyback on each other to strengthen each other, because that's what it's about. It's not about trying to be individuals and shine. We understand that there is strength and unity, that we are indeed stronger together, and that's what we're trying to portray to the people of the Virgin Islands, that we are stronger together, and the Alliance is going to continue our job. With Honorable Walwyn as the leader of the opposition here in these Virgin Islands, we know for a fact that you're going to see a change. We know there's going to be new energy. We know there's going to be an urgency of getting things done and allowing the people of the Virgin Islands, including the government, to see and hear that there is a voice that is uttering their concerns, hearing their hearts and needs, and making sounds and making moves and making the government act to change the things that we need done in this territory.
Understood. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for your time and accepting the invitation, and I'm sure we'll be hearing from you in the near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Viewers, that is all the time we have. You have heard from members of His Majesty's Loyal Opposition, the alliance formed, as stated, to move matters related to the country forward. I want to thank you so much for your time. I'm Ron Grant. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Goodbye.